chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, and when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, holy angels, in the form of men, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus, whose true name is YAHAWASHI, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. All right, I'm giving all glory, praise, and honor that's due to the Most High God, whose true name is YAHAWAH, through the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name is YAHAWASHI, and the Holy Spirit. Peace, mercy, and grace be to the household of faith, the remnant of the elect house of Israel, house of Jacob, the descendants today being classified as so-called Negroes, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, as well as the scattered remnant that look like the other nations. This live stream, I'm kind of freestyling, but I wanted to kind of just go into the salvation because I was just listening to a video and what's the name of the channel? Kingdom Minded, GMS Kingdom Minded. And he was going into various videos of just basically the AI and how, how the beasts are using this to basically cripple people into basically being reliant on AI and needing it. And just looking at it, it's like, damn, man, this shit is so, it's like the odds are stacked so against us. It's like, how do we get the victory? How do we beat this? It's like, because our minds are like, no, we don't want to comply with this. It's wicked, it's evil, it's rebellious. We don't want no parts of it. But it's like, damn, what do you do? And so I just thought about, man, the salvation. The salvation is written, and that's the only thing we have. And that's why it also says in Revelation 12, verse 10, it says that, verse 11, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of their testimony. Because this is the only way that the victory is going to be got. And so I wanted to convey that because that was edifying and comforting to me to know that there's an election that's going to overcome and get the victory. So I started off with Acts, the first chapter, going into when the Lord was taken up, because they said that he would, as you saw him being taken up, he's going to come back in like manner. And the scriptures say he was taken up in the cloud. And when you go to Revelation, the first chapter, verse 7, it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. Now, it says the same thing here about him being taken up in clouds, which represent the chariots, which are the vehicles of the angels. And this is where is going to be instrumental in the victory. They're going to be chariots involved in the salvation of you elect out there. Let's go to Revelation 15. Because when it talks about clouds, it's talking about the chariots. All right, these are the vehicles of the holy angels, which are going to call us up so that we don't get burnt up in the judgment of the Lord when he judges the U.S. This whole Northern American hemisphere is going to be engulfed in flames from coast to coast. This is Revelation 15:1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of God. And I saw it as it were. Yeah, and the last plague is going to be the plague of fire. Let's go to Zechariah 14. Zechariah 14 and verse 12, and it reads, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. How's that going to happen? It says, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. So that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a great burning. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. See, that's that plague is talking about right there. or that's the final plagues rather. So going back to Revelation 15 in verse 2, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with the fire, fire. Yeah, and that represents the firmament. Okay, the firmament, the sea of glass, the firmament. He's seeing it. He's seeing. I'm gonna read it on. He says, "And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast." So from above, he's seeing the firmament. He's seeing the fire below. So he's seeing it from an aerial perspective. He's taken up and wet in the cloud in the chariot. It says, "And them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name, and stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God." So these elect members were above. They were called up when they were in the chariots looking down, and they had the victory over this whole AI system, over the digital ID, over transhumanism, over the barcodes, the QR codes. All of these inventions of the heathen, they're going to be come to naught. Oh, matter of fact, let's go to Psalms. See if I can recall this one. Psalms 33, maybe. Yep, Psalms 33 and verse 10. And it reads, "The Lord," all caps, "bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect." And one of the definitions of devices in the scriptures goes into the plans, the purposes. So he's going to make the plans and the schemes and the purposes of the election come to naught. It won't be fruitful. Read that again. Psalms 33 and 10, "The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect." Woo! And see, the Lord is going to allow them, a large portion of our people to be given to the sword and get chipped and all this and that. Because they're, as it tell you in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, the multitude were created in vain. So he's going to allow that to happen. But you have a remnant, right? That predestined remnant that the Lord cares for, which is who his son was sent for. By the way, his son was sent for that blood to cover them. They're not going to get taken by this whole agenda, this whole council of the heathen. They're going to be preserved through this. That's why it says in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, "Those that be preserved from the said perils shall see my salvation." That's 2nd Esdras chapter 9 around verse 7. All right. They're going to be preserved from the said perils. Let's go there. Because it shows you the power of the Lord, that he's having all this evil and diabolical plans take place. But he's saying it's going to be some that are reserved through that. This is 2nd Esdras 9 and verse 7. "And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning." Come on, man. Grand opening, grand closing. So they're going to be fine throughout this whole thing. And that's why, these videos are so important. Even like channels like mine, which have low viewership, just letting the spirit come out and speaking, this is edifying and comforting for myself, at the very least. So people who don't have, brothers don't have a lot of following and a lot of views, doing these videos, they edify yourself. And eventually the Lord will direct people to your channels who need to see them and see the videos anyway. But it's just a spirit of truth going out and edification going out through this. This is just a part of the works and by the faith too. We just read that, by your works and by faith. It's just a faithful work that also builds up your belief. Anyway, so going back, because we read in Revelation 15 how they were above and looking down, Lord willing, that's us looking down and seeing the salvation over this whole thing, you see, and that's written. There's nothing that can be done. It can't be taken back, because the Lord has spoken it, and so he has to perform it. See, the Lord is not a man that he could lie, so he can't renege on what he said. He wrote this here, that there's going to be souls that get the victory, and Lord willing, that's us. And And if let's say if it ain't, there's still a victory had. They still won't win in the end. And at the end of the day, we're all Israel and we all come back, and the kingdom is still going to go back to Jacob. So, and I just wanted to bring that out, man. I thought that was Lord willing, that's us again, but I just wanted to bring that out, man. That's going to be the salvation. That's going to be the balance, the correction, if you will, to all of this evil and wickedness that Esau is doing and the heathen are doing with this new world order system. Because, like I was watching in the video, they're rolling it out globally. You know, this is a worldwide global rollout. And then places where they don't have it, those places won't have anything. They just won't. They're gonna be in the Stone Age. They won't have anything. All of the resource and all of the things that people like and want and need are gonna be in these places that have this infrastructure rolled out, and it's gonna be tempting. You know, it's gonna be tempting because the mark is gonna be issued for, which is gonna be that implantable device, which is gonna tie you into the technology. Because the technology is going toward that point where you're gonna have to merge with it, and that's what one of the devils, Klaus Schwab, said himself. In the Fourth Industrial Revolution, people will have to change because people are gonna have to upgrade themselves in order to keep up with the technology around them and integrate with it. So, Lord willing, you know, we're being kept from this, and Lord willing, we continue, and the Lord has mercy on us. So I'm going to close there, and I pray this was an edifying lesson. Till next time, I say shalom.